Hello Neverwinter. This is the Wizard Thaumaturge Dragon Slayer build. I'm not 100% happy with it, but it should do a pretty good job of killing dragons and give you guys a good idea of some things you can do to improve your builds or update your builds. Not quite stat capped on crit strike, but we are assuming that we're in a flapjack and a cheater, so that combat advantage should hit 90% in that circumstance. And obviously we're running a raptor as well. Buff-wise, we've got Squash Soup, Flask of Potency, Ratatouille, and Sunlord's Gift. You could get rid of the Squash Soup if you decide to switch to the Perfect Weapons. But we've got a bit of a weird situation where we've got far too many stats, unfortunately. So this build feels inefficient to me. We'll get into the details. I'm not sure how much I recommend this cap because if you are dying a lot, this cap is basically useless. But if you're not dying a lot, then it's 10% combat advantage. So I'm unsure whether I like this build or not. It might be worth dropping down the item level a bit and then having the more directly controllable combat advantage boosts. The Scintillate set for the accuracy, of course. Dragon Slayer ring, plus 10% damage against dragons. Pulsar coat, basically a high item level Bone Devil's Ribcage. But again, I'm going to have to see how this build performs because I might end up switching back to this one where you got the better control over your combat advantage and your accuracy. AP arms, we don't need these, but we also don't have a particularly better alternative. These damage gloves are not reliable. You can get your 5 stacks up quite easily, but then you've got to actively try to get hit to proc the damage, so they just don't work very well. As far as I can tell, these ones don't work at all. I had a little test before and they did not seem to proc at all. I suppose you could put the crit strike gloves on, but we are a bit short on reasonable arms that we can wear at the minute going into mod 29. That might improve as we go, don't know. Accuracy ring, that's with nearly 12% accuracy and a little bit of AP gain. Really like this ring. Second part of the Scintillate set. Like I said with my previous Warlock video, it's the bonus we need here. The actual stats, the +6 intelligence is very nice and it will help you do more damage, but it's not strictly necessary. So if you want to go for a slightly cheaper build, you can put the Shroomwood set in or any cheaper alternative set. Yeah. Now I'm a bit hesitant about which weapon set to use here. Obviously you get a nice bit of damage from the Solarium set. People are raving about the perfect set. I just feel like it's a massive waste of stats putting the perfect set into this build, but who knows? We'll have to get in the dungeon and try it out before we can determine whether it's any good or not. Obviously the Mirage set is still very contentious. I would much prefer it if we didn't have to run it anymore. And I don't think the other ones would really be any good. Artifact wise, we're just going for the highest item level with the most stats. I've stuck both of the dwarven items in here for the set bonus, but that's not strictly necessary. If you want to go for something different, that's fine. But we will maintain the pants because, as I keep saying, these are the best AP gain pants that we have in the game currently. And a bit more crit strike from these boots. Like I say, I'm not 100% happy with this build. You could definitely rework this into more efficiency, I think. Stat wise, we've just gone for intelligence and charisma. Obviously intelligence is a magic damage dealer's damage multiplier, and charisma gives us a little boost of forte and recharge speed. And for the Dragon Slayer build, we will run this Dragon Slayer overload, which we get from the guild hall, your stronghold. I think the guild hall needs to be rank 18 or something to get access to these. And then obviously Celestial Lightning Flash. I mean, you don't. The bonus is whatever you fancy. It's probably recharge for the Thaum, unless we've got a lot of mechanics that we need to dodge. Powers wise, this is a single target build, so it's all the usual stuff. I've gone for critical conflagration, swath, and that's because I'm running critical burn and directed flames on this build. Sometimes it's worth switching to roundfire weaving, but it's only in, like, roundfire weaving only becomes useful in long fights where there's enough time for the smaller stacks to continue to do damage. So if it phases quickly or there's lots of adds around, it's better to use directed flames because then you can front load your damage and you don't have to wait for the smaller ticks. If it's a fight where it's going to be like consistently long and there aren't any extra adds, then Rhyme Weaving becomes more it has a greater damage potential. Boon wise, we're up to the point where we can now run 5 full sets of Master Boons, although I haven't quite got this structured correctly. That should be 3 on the Blizzard Resilience as well. And looking at it, I have actually got this slightly incorrect. As I'm sure everyone knows, these Boons are quite bugged at the minute, so you need to commit your Boons as you're going, basically. And there are going to be there's going to be giants in this dungeon, so we don't have a direct sort of damage increase for giants. But if we get to a situation where we do have those, then these little damage boosts are quite useful. So there we go. Bloodlust, life lessons, enhanced application, blessed and blessed. Life lessons procs a hell of a lot. It does a significant amount of damage. On the wizard at least. I'm not entirely sure about the rest of the DPS classes. But this one in particular does do a significant amount of damage. Guild boons, whatever you need. Obviously you always go for awareness, because awareness is the most important defensive stat. Companion wise, perfect vision on the enhancement, because it is not a 100% uptime on these, unless it's one of the ones that has 100% uptime, but always aim to have the least important stat in this slot. So for DPS that'd be accuracy, because if you suddenly lose 7.5% accuracy, it's going to do a lot less damage to your DPS output than if you suddenly lose 7.5% combat advantage. I've got the flapjack equipped at the minute just to display the stats, but this build does require somebody to be running a flapjack, so, and the flapjack does do quite good damage. Okay, this is again very specifically for killing dragons, which is why we slotted the Dragon's Bane in from the Dragon Hunter. For a more general build, you could put the Neverwinter Knight in there. And obviously switch the Overload to Rage of Flames or something. But we have managed to slot 4 damage companions here with the Raptor. As far as I'm aware, the Celestial line is the only plus damage companion that goes into the utility slot, unfortunately. Although there are a few more damage. I don't know if the Netheries will go into that slot as well. It might be worth testing the Corbin in there at some point, actually, thinking about it. Might do that in the future. But anyway, the idea is that we now run 4 damage companions. I've got Pack Tactics on, that's just to showcase the stats. Usually I will be running Ferocity. On Thaumaturge, there's not really any point running quick action because you are generally going to get your daily back in time for the next article, and it's generally not going to be worth Thaumaturge and single target is not one where it is likely that you will be capable of getting your daily back twice inside the article, basically, or once every 30 seconds. Use the Golden Warhorse again because it doesn't lock you into an animation, it's all very smooth, allows you to react, and it's a single target 3000 magnitude. There's going to be some setups for this new dungeon where it's probably worthwhile all 5 players go in for debuffs, but haven't been in there yet, so I'm not sure. You know, the Red Dragon would probably be very good in there. Insignia bonuses, we're going for double Tacticians, Warlord's Motivation, Executioner's Covenant for the stats. Enchanter's Hex is kind of broken on the wizard at the minute. It is not proccing anywhere near as much as it should do. Hopefully they sort that out. But it is proccing enough for it to be worthwhile having in there. So that's it, Dragon Slayer build. Obviously it's only an initial build and it will probably change greatly once we get in there and see what's actually going on. This has been tested in Crown, running with other Dreadnoks DPS who were pretty good, and it was competitive. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of how you may want to build for this new mod. If you like the video, drop a like in. If you like a lot of the videos, hit subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Take it easy.